Okay, this is a round of golf from, almost a month ago at this point at Sandpiper Course in Santa Barbara. Now, I played pretty terribly, so I'm just going to voice over this. Excuse me, getting over a cold. I'm going to voice over this instead of doing shot tracers and all that because it's a pretty ugly round of golf. So let's start off hole 1, 530 yards. Par 5 kind of goes out straight away. I was told there's trouble right and there's bunkers left with like a 314-ish yard carry. So obviously we got driver in hand. It's kind of a stiff swing, pull over the left-hand bunkers, just in the left rough. And we have about 190 yards in off a downhill lie. Pins right in the middle of the green. I was told don't be long. Very much warned against these greens being very fast back to front. The putting green was unbelievably fast. So this is an 8-iron in from about 190. Not too bad, kind of like a low draw that ends up scooting up past the hole, kind of above the hole like I was told not to do. Playing partners were a blast. One of them was a local member and 2 were from San Diego. Actually, one of them goes to the high school I went to and plays golf there, so it was a fun round. So for eagle, not even close, and rolls by, and then I'm in a hurry, so I missed this and call that a 3-putt par. So off to number 2, that's 471 yards. It kind of goes left, and so I was told the trees can block you out on the left. I probably shouldn't listen to people, but I end up kind of pulling it and then fading it into the right rough, which isn't a big deal, but it does end up in the right rough. Now from here, I've got 130-ish yards, 135, I think, to the center of the green, but then the pin was in the front, so I'm thinking 125 yards. Kind of uphill, pins in front, in between the gap. So that's a little 50-degree wedge, and I'm just guessing. I'm thinking I'm short right, and I think I end up being correct on that. I am short right. Oh no. Okay. No. Okay, so this was a decent shot, but again, I make nothing today. Lots of stuff like this where it just kind of curls around the hole. So another par, even par. Third hole coming up is 430 yards straight away. This is probably the worst drive I hit all day. So that's always fun. There's no trouble left or right, so I think I'm frustrated. I'm going to hit this hard. And that thing is like a mile and a half right. Like this almost goes over the fairway of the par 3 to the right, out of bounds. It's so far right. But again, 430, I have about 128 yards in, 438 yards in. So again, I've got a little gap wedge, pins all the way back. So it's probably like 145 all the way to the flag. So I'm playing that 138 middle of the green and just not trying to go long. You can see the green, or the group exiting the green, top right, and I'm just aiming it right at the center of the green, trying to get some sort of, footing on my golf swing. Up to this point, feeling very stiff. It's very cold. Well, it's not very cold. I've got long sleeves and stuff on, but I felt stiff all day. Now, misread this putt completely out to the left. I thought it was breaking right, but not even close. We're talking about there being bumps on the green and stuff, but it wasn't bad. It was just a complete misread. And another lip out, like I said. So now we're over par. This is a 4th hole, 258 yards. Pin is in the back, so it was like 265, I think I gunned it at. And I've got a 3-iron, and I hit one of the worst 3-irons ever. Just kind of like pull, chunk, toe, hook this thing. Again, lucky to have a shot, lucky to be in the trees. But I don't know, 40 yards left of the green. And I chunked this thing up there a little bit short, I think. So now I've got another chip for par. Actually hit a good chip here. Scares the hole. And that's, inches away. So I kind of just walk up there and tap it away. But give myself that bogey, basically. I think I don't make this really. I just kind of, Okay, so still over, 2 over par now. Par 5, 513 yards, but we're going up this hill, kind of blocked out by the trees, straight into the wind. So I'm trying to hit a rope draw, and I just hit it out to the right and just stays there. So not really bad, just like it was a straight ball that goes really high into the wind and just gets beat down. And then I'm up on this slope. So I've got about a 215 to 220 yard shot in. I've got a lot of club because I've got no leverage on the ball, hitting straight off an uphill lie into the wind and blind. This is a 4-iron, I think. Might have been a 5-iron actually. And I just hit like another pull hook out into the weeds. So now I've got this one for my third on this par 5. I was hoping to get a birdie, get back to 1 over, but still 2 over par. I hacked this up and I'm pretty sure it hit on the front edge of the green and then just ran. So it kind of ran down and off the front of the green. So this would be my birdie putt here. And I'm thinking it goes right. The member is saying it goes left early. And you can see it does go left early and then does come back right, but I miss it just on the outside. And he's kind of laughing, telling me, he told me so. So 6th hole, still 2 over par, 195 yards, pins back right. So it's playing like 205. I've got a 7-iron. And I hit what I thought was going to be a great shot, but it just kind of hung and then faded right instead of drawing. I thought it was going to draw. Now I left myself with a short-sided chip. And then me being me on a short-sided chip, instead of taking my medicine and hitting it up on the green, I'm trying to get cute and land it just on, and it lands just short in the fringe and has no bounce, which I'm surprised about, because when you see this putt, it's basically straight down the hill and then just falls left off a cliff. So you'll see it and then it just starts to go, and once it breaks, it just takes off and stops nowhere near the hole. So now I've got this for another bogey this is for a par. There's no way I'm making this, right? No, short. So another bogey, 3 over par through 6, which is why I ended up doing the voiceover. My commentary during this round is so bad that you don't want to listen to that. 394 yard par 4, huge dog leg left. Trying to regroup, excuse me. And I kind of did the same thing on the par 5, just sent it out to the right. Kind of like a high block. It's totally fine. No big deal. This is about a 65 yard shot. And I hit what I thought was a fantastic shot, and then it just doesn't stop at all. It's got just nothing. Just goes all the way to the back of the green. Very much warned that this putt is extremely fast. I hit the putt and gave it way too much credit, not even close, really. And I grabbed the other putter in my bag just because I was frustrated. I'm not making anything. And you'll see that here. Another bogey. So now 4 over par through 7. But this is kind of the day. Just kind of continuously did this to myself. Now this one's fun. For 8th hole, 399 yards. I hit this thing kind of off the heel up the right side. Someone comes up out of the right-hand rough that we didn't see, so we're yelling for. This one barely stays in. It's going to look like one of those that didn't stay in, but it did stay right on the side of this hill. I think right there I just said to the camera I got lucky, but I'm sitting in a sandy lie. I remember this because this is the worst wedge shot I hit all day contact-wise. It was bad swing, wipey contact, and then it ends up the closest to the hole, I think, of any wedge shot I hit all day. So we all have a laugh about this because, of course, when you're playing bad, the worst shot you hit ends up inches from the hole. And I make my bogey to go back, or birdie, excuse me, go back to 3 over par. 9th hole is 420 yards. Dead straight away, driving range left, so technically you'll lose your golf ball over there, and the par 5 first to the right. This was probably one of the better drives of the day, even though it wasn't a good swing. And again, if I left the commentary, I would say that is, good drive, awful swing. But we'll take it. So this, I've got 90 yards into the wind. So I'm trying to flight a low sand wedge. So these are always the ones that, take more judgment, and I don't practice these enough. So I hit what I think is a beautiful shot, little flighted sand wedge. Nice little draw. But it ends up kind of hitting maybe 15 feet short, and then spinning back some more. So now I've got like a 25-ish, 30-ish footer up the hill left to right. Kind of noticed that I hit a lot of hooks on my putts. Misread this. Excuse me, I thought it was left to right. Obviously, it goes left because the ocean is left. So that was just a bad misread. And then I actually make one. So 39 on the front. And we're going to try and regroup and play better on the back. It's really all I'm telling myself. This hole was really cool looking from the tee. It sits out on a peninsula. It's a 390-yard par 4, 10th hole. Kind of downhill right to left. I hit, goes out to the right of that tree with a draw. And then it is a much more banked fairway than I thought. And so it hits in the fairway. You can see me watching it. It's banking left and ends up in the left rough. But it was a good ball that ends up in the left rough. Now I've got the ball way above my feet. I've got about a 70-yard shot. I think it's a little hook lie. I just watched the ball land short and bounce on. So I hit this exactly what I thought was going to be perfect, and it just goes nowhere. Lands on the front right and just stops. And so I'm laughing at this. That's just the kind of day it is. So birdie putt here that's not really makeable. It swings a decent bit from right to left. It's uphill, and I'm coming through the fringe. Hit a putt that's fine. Kind of never had a chance, but lag it up there to a foot or so. So I'll tap this in, make my par stay at 3 over. And then we go to what I think is the signature hole. So I think the 11th hole is the signature hole here at the course. And it's a beautiful par 3, 228 yards down the hill. Now it's severely downhill. So I've got a 7-iron. I'm going to try and sort of rip a low draw. And I hit this thing really well. It's really well flighted, but it just sits on the right side of the green, or right fringe. It just stays there. It never comes back. So I'm just off, which is tough. I hit a really good shot. Here I hit actually a very nice chip, and it checks a little more than I expected and kind of comes up shorter than I would have thought. Thought that was actually a pretty darn good chip. Gonna mark this. I should have cut this out, but anyways, a decent little par putt left. Looks like 6 feet or so, but it's pretty darn straight. And I think I watched someone putt right before me, so I had a good idea of what it was doing, and I knock it in. think that might be the longest putt I make all day. The 12th hole, so I'm still 3 over par. 12th hole is a cool little par 4 up into the right, blind shot, 347 yards. I think we're playing it up, so it's like 330 yards, something like that. I get a little chicken and don't hit it far enough right, so I'm left of the green with like a, I don't know, 40-yard shot, maybe 50 yards. Hit a shot that I think is coming in hot and like going way past the flag, but then I think it just kind of stops, and I'm shocked again. Seems like a trend that around the greens I'm always surprised with what's happening. But at least I've got a birdie putt. Can't be too mad after not doing much well. Hit a putt that I think, did I just smash this? I think I just hit that decently far past, but he gives it to me. That's the member from Sandpiper. He said that's good. Not a hard putt. I'm laughing walking away because I'm putting so bad that day. Still 3 over par, 13th hole, 532 yards. A lot of room to the right, so that little squiggly tree, you can see his cart. He's giving me an aim point, and I hit it like at the right edge of that tree, the base of that tree. So I'm saying it's just a little right, but it's okay. Just in the right rough. So 532. I've got 190 yards in. I've got a 7-iron because we've got a little crosswind hurting, and I hit a pretty nice little hold-off shot that I'm trying to stare down. I think I hit it off the heel, but it ends up holding. So I've got this for eagle. And it looks like a very straightforward putt. It was, for whatever reason, I don't even come close. Like, I am like, it's like a 10-footer, and I'm like 3 feet short. Like, I mean, that didn't even give it a chance, but made a birdie, back to 2 over. And I'm just kind of laughing at myself. So then we're on to 14 at 2 over par. 14 is 445 yards. As you can see, slightly uphill with that same crosswind. And I hit this thing up the right-hand side, I think. Kind of like a lot of the same types of tee shots. So it's kind of like a high right. I'm going to say that's almost like a weak shot, but it's fine. I've got like 135 yards in on this. So we got another gap wedge. Hit that one fine. Not great, not bad. Kind of on the front left of the green. So decent look at it. After I hit this putt, the member does say that this is one of the toughest pin locations to make a putt on. I hit a very nice putt, and again, it just kind of dies back around the hole. So, again, decent putt, nowhere near making it, which is okay. So 2 over par still, on to the 15th hole, 602 yards. It goes a hard dogleg right. So I'm aimed like the gap in the trees out there, and I hit something that kind of fades instead of draws. It's fine, but it's not ideal, because if it would have taken a draw, it would have been in the fairway. Instead, it kind of tailed off, and I'm in this junk under a tree. Now I'm sitting down. I'm going, I need to hit this low. I'm not going to hit a hook out of this, and I'm trying to chase it up, and it just comes out like dead. But it's fine. It's up the right rough. You can see me kind of say whatever. I'm left with like a 100-yard shot in. So now this time, instead of flighting a wedge, I think I'm going to try and hit a harder lob wedge and try and hit it back there. But again, I think I come up a little short. And I've got a decently long putt of, 20-ish, 18 feet, something like that. But all things considered, hitting a drive in the crap, hitting a kind of a junky layup, and then a decent wedge. At least have a look. Again, gonna just skirt by the hole. Not gonna make anything. Gonna make another par, stay at 2 over. 16th hole, 2 over par, 395 yard. Again, a hard dog leg left. There's junk or long grass through the fairway. It's kind of like fescue. So I hit a mini driver here. Probably the best swing of the day. Nice high draw. Straight into the wind. And I am perfectly in the left side of the fairway with about 85, 90 yards in, 80 yards in. And then I hit probably the best wedge of the day. Just kidding. Chunk it short. Why not? So I just chunk it up to the front edge. You can see I've just kind of had enough at this point. Really frustrated. Long putt. I don't take any time. I just go hit it. I think it almost hits that flag stick. And then I miss it. So I go back to 3 over par. And I'm just kind of angry at this point. 17's 430. Kind of moves to the right. I had another good tee shot here up the left. And I kind of watch it because I'm not sure how far away things are. But it's totally fine. Good ball at 430. I think I only have 100 yards in. So another just green light, pins in front. I've got a sand wedge. Nice sand wedge, but it just kind of, instead of drawing, it kind of hangs right. So that was the trend all day. Kind of leaving things short right, high right. And now I've got another birdie putt. Not that close, but looks like it's easy tap in. So let's say I don't make that on 4 over. Now I got a 181 yard finishing hole, and I've got an 8 iron. And I hit kind of like the first time I kind of straight start line and hooked or drew to the left side, left fringe. Pin high, I think. But I hit the worst first putt ever. This is so bad. This has to end up like 15, 20 feet past the hole. So, needless to say, I 3-putt this and shoot 5 over. And it's pretty much primarily just like all wedges and short game. The driver wasn't particularly good, but the wedges and putting just were killers. So great golf course, absolutely beautiful, and would love to play again and just play a little better.